All right. Regis Prograis and Josh Taylor coming up this weekend. Josh Taylor is he's talking a lot of smack, man, about Regis Prograis, claiming that he is a fake tough guy that he put in a headlock and didn't know what to do with himself. I hope Regis Prograis, I hope Josh Taylor knows what he's talking about for his sake, because this is going to be a great fight. Let's talk about that, the observations that he made or the things that Josh Taylor said, but also talk about this great fight that's coming up this weekend in this video. All right, welcome back to the channel, subscribers. A great weekend of boxing coming up. I certainly hope that you will attend. You will come by the channel when we do a live stream coverage of the Regis Prograis versus Josh Taylor unification fight coming out of London. I do believe it's going to be televised on the DAZN and in the UK on Sky Sports. Hey, I'm really looking forward to this one, and I hope you'll attend the live stream that we cover, where we cover it. Also, I want to say thank you to the people on the live streams community that come Monday through Friday, and also come for OG Boxing Talk 11 a.m. Central Standard Time on Sunday. We'll be talking about this fight, I'm sure, on that show. And also thank you to everybody in the Patreon community. Thank you so much for your support. Now, Josh Taylor and Regis Prograis, this is a fight. This is like a 50-50 fight if ever there was a 50-50 fight. But the reason I'm saying it's a 50-50 fight is because I believe that for both of these guys, this is the toughest competition that they've had. These are two undefeated champions coming together for a unification fight. Similar to a fight that took place in the light heavyweight division between Beterbiev and Alexander Wojcik. And honestly, man, I think that the styles between the two of these guys are similar to did I say Usyk? I think I should have said Wojcik. The Wojcik and the Beterbiev fight. You have a guy that is a boxer puncher, and another guy that is a really come forward fighter, and somebody that is, a little bit shorter in stature, but is very, very strong and packs a very big punch. I think that there's a lot of similarities between this fight coming up this weekend on the 26th and the fight that took place last week. The difference being that I think that the boxing skills of the fight at 140 might be a little higher than the ones that was at light heavyweight. But we will see. In the lead up to this, though, Josh Taylor, who in my comparison would be more of a Wojcik type of fighter and Regis Prograis being more of the Beterbiev type of fighter, has been talking a lot, man. And he's been saying things like I don't know if he's psyching himself out or whether he's trying to psych out Regis Prograis or what the deal is, because he keeps acting as if Regis Prograis somehow didn't want the fight, and Regis Prograis is just some fake internet bully, right? Who talks a lot, but when you meet him in person, he's too polite. Hey, man, Josh, don't mistake kindness for weakness, man. Just because somebody isn't rude and obnoxious doesn't mean that they're not trying to hurt you. Just because they're not gonna get into a wrestling match with you and bust you in the face for grabbing them. I mean, what's Josh Taylor doing trying to get Regis Prograis in a headlock anyway, man? I mean, I know that Josh Taylor is kind of a froggy individual. You can tell that by the way that he fights. In the fight with Baranachek, he could have just continued to box for that win. He took way too much punishment from Baranachek. He took more punishment from Baranachek than he had to, because at times he went straight into that. He went into the boxer slugger mode. He left the boxer mode, went into the slugger mode. And so with Regis Prograis, if you do that with Regis Prograis has enough power to hurt Josh Taylor. He has enough power to hurt anybody. If you watch the fights that he's had with Julius Ndungo, now when he had that one punch knockout with a body shot to Julius Ndungo, he knew, Regis Prograis knew that shot was going to be there for him because he watched Julius Ndungo get knocked out like that in his previous fight with Terrence Crawford. But still, he showed the power and the precision with that body shot to get him out of there. Same thing happened with Terry Flanagan. Terry Flanagan, who used to be the 135-pound WBO champion, who was a solid fighter and experienced champion. Regis Prograis showed him pretty quickly, man, that he had more than enough power to hurt him. Same thing with Kylie Relic, who Regis Prograis took that WBA title off of. This guy has the power to really hurt you. And the thing that I like along with that power for Regis Prograis is that Regis Prograis has answered a lot of people's criticism over the last few fights and showing that he is defensively responsible. He is somebody that in his earlier part of his career would walk forward. I thought he was taking a few more shots than he needed to take as he was wading his way in and to land his big shots and stop guys. But now I've seen in the last few fights where that hasn't been so easy for the competition to really land anything clean on him. So Josh Taylor, man, the risk for Josh Taylor is that Josh Taylor underestimates Regis Prograis. Josh Taylor said something about him feeling like this was like the Baranicek fight, and if Regis Prograis wades in there and tries to fight him, tries to make it a war, that Josh Taylor's going to knock him out. Man, I don't know, man. First of all, Regis Prograis is not Ivan Baranicek. Regis Prograis is a much better fighter than Ivan Baranicek. He's got much faster hands than Baranicek. He's got much better defense than Baranicek. And man, Josh Taylor's at real risk for underestimating him, especially if he thinks that he punked him. This whole grabbing, I think I alluded to that a couple seconds ago, this whole idea that because you get into a wrestling match with somebody that you started and I can't even imagine how that went down. They have a fighters meeting, and then what does Josh Taylor do? Just start talking, ha ha ha, and all of a sudden he grabs him and puts him in a headlock. And what is Regis Prograis supposed to do, man? This ain't wrestling. Just because the fact that he might not have known how to get into some headlock that you somehow put him into when he probably wasn't expecting it, doesn't mean he won't crack you in the chin. You ever fought a wrestler? Just because, it's hard to get out of a headlock. It's hard to get out of chokeholds and things like that. But in a boxing match, you're not going to have your hands available to put him in a chokehold, man. So anyway, man, but I still say this is like a 50.1 to 49.99 fight. And the reason why I have that is because of the location of the fight and the fact that the fight is on Matchroom. I don't trust Matchroom as far as I can throw this internet, right? You're talking to me over the internet. I trust them. I trust Matchroom Boxing to have fair scorecards, fair judges, as much as I believe that I can snatch up the internet and throw it. I can't do it. I don't believe that these people are going to be fair. I've watched over the last 2 years, I've watched too many Matchroom cards where the home fighter there's home cooking for the house fighter. And I have to believe that since one of the things that Josh Taylor said about this fight that I think is true is why it was in London. It was in London because it's going to do bigger numbers and it's going to make more money for the World Boxing Super Series in London than it would in the United States. That's without a doubt. The World Boxing Super Series, I believe, screwed over Regis Prograis because they didn't know where the heck to take the guy in the United States. You don't take Regis Prograis to Lafayette. I mean, Regis Prograis from New Orleans, but Regis Prograis could sell in Houston, which is a bigger city, and it's a bigger city. I just don't think that the World Boxing Super Series did a particularly good job of promoting Regis Prograis in the United States, but it is what it is. I agree with them. I agree with Josh Taylor that this fight is going to be financially bigger in the UK, and that's more than likely why it ended up there. But the fight itself is 50-50. But history, 50.1 to 49.9. But history, on the other hand, rides with Regis Prograis. Just like Terrence Crawford went over there and beat Ricky Burns, Errol Spence Jr. went over there, beat Kell Brook. A lot of people favored Kell Brook to beat Errol Spence Jr. I can't recall if people had expected Terrence Crawford to beat Ricky Burns. In hindsight, I would think that it would be obvious, but I do believe that he also went over there. Crawford also went over there to fight. Was it Pretis Prescott? Deontay Wilder went over to the U.S. to fight Audley Harrison. Man, until proven, guys coming out, young fighters coming out of the UK against young fighters coming out of the United States. My money more than likely is on the guy from the United States. But and that's just because that's the way history pans out. But anyway, it is what it is. Can't wait for this fight. Let me know what you think in the comment section. And with that, I'm out. Peace.